So in today's video, I'm going to be previewing the second League 2 playoff semi-final leg between Carlisle United and Bradford City. If you do go on to enjoy today's video, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could try and hit 70 likes on today's video, that'd be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you are new as well. We are now on the road 7,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed if you haven't already with that post notification bell on. It's free to do so and it does massively help out. Drop a comment in as well down in the comment section down below. Let me know your score prediction for this match and what would your starting 11 be. Would you go and change? Would you go more defensive? Would you go more attacking? Let me know that sort of stuff down below. The first leg was a very tight affair. I'd say the first half was pretty even. Second half was heavily dominated by Carlisle, to be fair. Both sides had numerous chances, but Carlisle had some real clear-cut chances in that second half. I think it's very important who gets the first goal. I think whoever gets the first goal in this game will go on and win the tie overall. I think with both teams' records, like Carlisle's home record and our away record, they're very similar, and our record at Carlisle is just so bad, I just can't say anything other than a defeat. But make sure to drop a like on there for me. Subscribe if you're new as well. And let's get into it. So for those who didn't watch my match preview for the first leg, we'll start out then with how both teams finished the 22-23 campaign. Carlisle United, they finished 5th in the table. After 46 matches, they got 20 wins, 16 draws, 10 defeats, 66 goals scored, 43 goals conceded, which left them on a positive 23 goal difference and 76 points. The last 5 matches then were a draw, a loss, a win, a draw and a draw. Them last 5 matches then being a 1-1 draw against Sutton United, a 3-2 defeat at home to Salford City, a 1-0 win away at Barrow, a 2-2 draw at home to Stockport, a 0-0 draw at home to Northampton Town. Obviously, most recently they had that 1-0 defeat away at Bradford City, but that doesn't technically count as a league fixture. My team Bradford City though, we finished the season at 6th in the table. After 46 matches, we also had 20 wins at 16 draws and 10 defeats. We scored 5 goals less though with 61 and conceded the same amount on 43. That left us then on a positive 18 goal difference and 76 points. Our last 5 matches then before the season ended were a draw, a loss, a win, a draw and a loss. Them last 5 matches then being a 1-1 draw at home to Leyton Orient, a 3-2 defeat away at Crewe Alexandra, a 2-1 win away at Northampton Town, a 2-2 draw at home to Gillingham FC and a 1-0 defeat away at Swindon Town, and obviously most recently that 1-0 win against Carlisle United. If we have a look then at the in-depth stats of the first leg, we had 10 shots compared to their 9. Both teams had 2 shots on target. We had 49% possession, they had 51% possession. We attempted 359 passes, they attempted 369 passes. We had a 60% passing accuracy, they had a 63% passing accuracy. Both sides made 7 fouls each. We got no yellow cards, they got 2 yellow cards. I don't think there's an accumulation of yellow cards in the playoffs. I don't think if you get booked in both legs then you're banned for the final. I'm pretty sure that's not a thing. We had no offsides, they had 1 offside, and we had 5 corners compared to their 3. So the stats there would say it was a very even game. We would potentially edge it, in my opinion, with more corners and more shots overall, but in terms of actually watching the game, it's so nervy when your team are involved in the playoffs. Like, it is genuinely one of the worst feelings ever. And we won the game. I'd hate to be a Carlisle fan. It's probably because I have such a bad feeling about how this second leg's going to go. We needed to go there winning by 2 goals. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm confident Mark Hughes and the boys will have a brilliant game plan and he'll know that we have to score another goal. We cannot go there, sit back and try and play for a 0-0 because I just can't see that happening, to be honest with you. We can't give away set pieces. They're so dangerous from their corners and free kicks because Owen Moxon can't half whip a ball into the box. The long throws as well were a bit of a problem, to be honest with you. I expect they will probably start with Edmondson and Dennis because Patrick and Garner were both absolutely shocking in that first leg, but they have got some real quality coming into the box from players like Moxham. Jack Armour as well were putting some brilliant balls in that second half, so we have to be solid defensively. Let's now get into the team that I would go with if I was Mark Hughes. So the formation is a little bit of a weird one because we kind of play like a hybrid of a diamond and a 4-3-3. It's really hard to explain. So we've obviously got the 4 defenders, then it's Clayton as a holding midfielder with Gilead and Smould as like 2 number 8s. Jamie Walker then plays as a number 10 with Scott Banks on the right wing and Andy Cook up front. We kind of play a bit lopsided. It's interesting, but in my opinion, we should stick with whatever that formation is. I've got it down here as a 4-3-3 just to make it a little bit easier, but I'd stick with Harry Lewis in goal. Great to see him get another clean sheet on Sunday night. That's when the last game was played, and overall had a pretty decent performance, to be fair. Didn't really have to pull off any big saves in the actual fixture at Carlisle in the league this season. He did have to pull off some big saves, so if we have to rely on him once again, we need to hope he has another one of his masterclasses because he's going to be massive for us in this match. Into the back 4 then, at right back I would stick with Brad Halliday. I thought again he was back to his best once again. He had an absolutely brilliant game against Carlisle, was a little bit underrated in my opinion. Now going forward, he wasn't his greatest game. I think that's hard when you play against a team who play 3 or 5 defenders. our fullbacks always seem to struggle against that, but defensively, I thought Halliday had a pretty solid game. Into the two centre-backs then, at first I would go with Sam Stubbs. I thought he was probably my man of the match. I thought he was absolutely outstanding defensively, so strong. Wound Garner up as well and dealt with his cheating antics so brilliantly, and he's got to stay in the team for me. He was absolutely outstanding. Same with Romany Critchlow, who I would keep in the side as well. His only real mistake was when he got pushed over and the ball was out of play. Somehow the lino didn't see that, and then obviously he tried to handball it, thankfully pulled his arm away. If they would have scored from that, that would have just been a shocking piece of officiating overall. You know, Critchlow was pushed over, no foul, the ball went out of play, no goal kick given. Critchlow attempts to handball it. I'm not really too sure if he makes contact, but the referee or lineswoman didn't really seem to make too much of a fuss about it, so maybe he didn't actually touch the ball with his hand, but that'd have been such a controversial goal if Carlisle had scored from that. But overall, I thought Stubbs and Critchlow had two brilliant games on Sunday. Left back, I would stick with Liam Rideout. Mr. Consistent over the last couple of weeks, and again, a pretty solid performance from him on Sunday night. We need another delivery into the box towards that back post for Andy Cook to get on the end of in this second leg. Defensively solid, has the experience as well. I think he's already won promotion a couple times in his career, so we could do with him getting another one on his CV in this fixture. Not just this fixture, we've then potentially got another game at Wembley to come before we do actually get that promotion. But into the midfield then, at the base, I would stick with Adam Clayton. This was someone who I was debating with, do you bring in a Ryan East for this game? Because Clayton, while he's got the experience and he's a very good player, will he be able to last 90 minutes, potentially 120 minutes at his age? I'm not so sure. I certainly think he'll be a player who won't be able to last a full 90 minutes. I think if you bring Ryan East on, he will bring you that energy, but at that stage in the game, if we're maybe still winning 1-0 on aggregate, do you maybe want Clayton's experience in there? So it was hard for me, really. I have stuck with Clayton, though, because I think we need his set-piece deliveries as well, and I had a pretty solid game against Carlisle in the reverse fixture, so I'd stick with him in the midfield. Into the two number 8 positions then, at first I would go with Alex Gilliard. I think his energy will be very key in a game like this when Carlisle have got such a big pitch. He's a man who can get up and down that pitch, constantly provide you the energy, whether it's the first minute or even if we get to the 120th minute. I'm sure that man will be giving it absolutely everything, and fingers crossed he can maybe get on the score sheet once again. And I would stick with Richie Smalling there. Now, I actually thought overall he had a pretty poor game, to be honest with you, but I think it suits us. It certainly suits Smallwood a little bit more when we're under the cosh, because he can get them tackles in and he's so good at winning the ball back, but then you don't really have the pace to counter with, so that's why you need someone like a Gilliard or some more of the attacking players in there as well. But Smallwood, I think some of his passes were a little bit off, gave the ball away a couple of times, but overall for me, I think you've got to stick with him in the side. Moving in then into my front three, on the right wing, I would stick with Scott Banks. Now again, I don't think he had his greatest game in the reverse fixture, to be honest with you. I think he was being doubled up on pretty much every time he got the ball. He had Whelan and Armour both up his arse, so fingers crossed he gets a little bit more freedom, a bit more space on a bigger pitch at Carlisle. It might not even be bigger, it just probably because where the away fans are, it seems so far away from the opposite end. It might have no idea, but to me personally, the pitch seems absolutely massive up at Carlisle. Fingers crossed he does get that space where he can cut in on that left foot or even go on his right foot, get them shots off, because Hawley proved in that first leg he does struggle to get down low quickly, whereas from corners and free kicks and stuff like that, he will come out and claim them or get a punch on there. In actual shots at him, we didn't really test him all too much, to be fair, but he did seem to struggle to get down low, as we saw with obviously Jamie Walker's goal. But fingers crossed we can see a good performance from Scott Banks. Obviously he didn't play in the league fixture up at Carlisle, that was when he had his injury problems, and I can't for the life of me remember if he played in the 0-0 draw at Valley Parade. On the left wing, I would stick with Jamie Walker. Now, I've given him a bit of stick, to be fair, over the last couple of weeks, saying that we need more goals, more assists from him, and he's come up with a big goal in a big game. He is a big game player. I think you've got to stick with him in this one. It's great to see him get on the score sheet. He did come off after about 65 minutes for Osadibe. Osadibe had a really poor game. I've been calling for Osadibe, hold my hands up, he had a poor game. Jamie Walker, proved me wrong really from that point of view. Hopefully he can come up with another goal, and that would obviously pretty much see us through to Wembley if we can get a couple more goals up at Carlisle. Up front then, I would go with Andy Cook. Now, he didn't really have too much of an influence on the game, to be honest with you, because he was kind of up front, isolated, alone really. Whenever the ball was going up to him, Huntington had him in a headlock on numerous occasions. The referee didn't give it. He let the game flow both ways, to be fair, which I don't mind, but when someone's been put in a headlock, referee, I think that's where you've got to maybe potentially draw the line a little bit. Fingers crossed though, he can get even half a chance in the box. If we wanted to put right what happened on Boxing Day at Carlisle, where he missed 3 glorious chances, he really does need to come up with a big goal in this game. I don't really care who scores. I don't even care if anyone scores, as long as we get through to Wembley. That is all that matters at this stage in the season. On the bench then for me, that would leave Colin Doyle, Matty Platt, Kieran Kelly, Ryan East, Emmanuel Osadibe, Dion Pereira and Matt Derbyshire. That would mean then the players who miss out would be Heath Richardson, Luke Hendry, Oscar Threlkeld, Timmy Odesina, Talaji Bowler, Harry Chapman, Thierry Nevers, Aboisa, Dara Costello, and Verdane Oliver. Now, in terms of a score prediction for this game, I think in 90 minutes we lose at 1-0. I've no idea who's going to score, but I think they'll probably get a goal from a set piece, and that will obviously take it into extra time. After extra time, I don't think there'll be any more goals. I think it will go to penalties, and I think Bradford City will win on penalties. I'm going to back us. Fingers crossed I've not jinxed us with that one. Please just get the job done. But anyway, that is where I'm going to leave it for today's video. If you have enjoyed, please make sure to drop a like on there for me. If you could try and hit 70 likes, as I said at the start of today's video, that'd be massively appreciated. Subscribe if you are new as well. We are on the road 7,000 subscribers, so please make sure you are subscribed. If you haven't already, with that post notification bell on, it's free to do so and it does massively help out. Drop a comment in as well down in the comment section down below. Let me know your score prediction for this match, and would you stick with Mark Hughes' 11? Would you go unchanged? Would you go more offensive, or would you go more defensive going into this one? Thank you all very much for watching today's video. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you on Saturday for the match day vlog. Peace.